This is the new Mercedes-AMG C63s E-Performance, and in this video you're going to find out everything you need to know about this car and the estate version as well. Buy, sell, car, wow! I'd like to introduce you to Anna, who's the product manager for the new C63s E-Performance. And you're going to basically talk me around this car. We're going to talk about the design, and the biggest change that I can notice is this. And I've never seen this before on a C63. It's a vent in the bonnet.
Correct, and we know that for our customers the design is very important, and therefore we decided, especially for this version, so for the C63 SE, we want to make it a little bit more progressive, more dynamic, more sporty, and that's why we not only have the power domes on the engine hood, but also then this air outtake.
And it is a real inlet or outlet or whatever. There's holes in there that leads through to the engine bay, right? It's not just for show, right?
Right, there comes the air out of the engine room, so it has actually also the function that we have a better air conditioning in that.
That's good. Right, you got the Amg Grille, obviously the slats in it like that. And
correct.
The lower bumper is obviously more aggressive than on the standard C-Class. Is this exactly the same design that you have on the C43?
It is not. We have one part in common, which is the AMG specific radiator grille, but the lower part, our designers considered as the jet wing design. We have huge air intakes, which we actually need in order to pull it down.
I'm going to stop you there though, because I need to check that they're real vents, guys.
Right,
You've got to continue.
We need it because we have there, in the lower part, we have lots of cooling systems in order to not cool only the engine down, but also then the battery and the electrical engine on the rear axle.
Okay, so it's all functional, this, and it helps separate the car from the lesser model. One of the things that annoyed me when I had an A45S was that I could never tell it apart from the A35. Like from the front, it just looked the same. I had to go up and look at them to double check. But this is noticeably different. And obviously, instead of a Mercedes badge, we've got the Alfalta back, which is, it's a tree valve. It's got a spring and a cam lobe. Here at the side on it, the first thing I'm noticing, looks like it's got slightly pronounced wheel arches. What's going on there?
We have wider wheel dimensions in order to have more traction on the street, and actually we widen it compared to the Mercedes-Benz model by 76 millimeters in total.
Okay, that's quite a lot. That's like that, isn't it?
Right, but on both, so in total.
Really? Okay, I'm total.
In total, yeah. And this leads us that we are able to have 4 centimeters more tire dimensions, so wider tires in the front compared to the regular Mercedes-Benz car.
Okay, and in terms of the alloy wheels, are these 20s?
Yeah, these are 20s. This is the design exclusively for the C63 SE Performance. On the station wagon, we're going to see the other 20-inch wheel design, which looks also very great.
Can you get 19s as standard? Is that what it is?
Yes, we start with 19-inch as standard, and then the customer has the choice up to 20-inch wheels.
I think a lot of them are going to upgrade, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Although probably for ride quality, you're going to be better off with the 19s, but the way it always is. Okay, so here at the side as well, I'm noticing some, normally these kind of things are fake.
In this case, it's only for design purpose in order to emphasize also the sportiness of the car inside.
That's now rubbish to me, I'm afraid, aren't I? You've ruined it.
All right, but I'm sure that we have other features that will bring the smile back again.
So I noticed you've got pronounced side skirts.
Right, made in carbon fiber. In this case, it's optional.
Optional, okay.
Mirror housings also in carbon fiber. Optional, yeah. Right. So we want to offer our customers a wide spread of individualization. Just as individual you are, we want to provide our customers also lots of individualization opportunities.
And make money while doing it.
Of course.
That's why we're here, aren't we, really? Come on. Another thing we should know while we're here, the brakes. So, what kind of brakes has this car got?
So in this case, the car is equipped with the optional ceramic brakes, which come to the market a little bit later, so it won't be available for market introduction. But in general, we have also, again, an AMG specific brakes in order to break down the entire system, the entire car.
Okay, so steel brakes are standard, upgraded obviously over the normal C-Class and the C43, and you can upgrade them to carbon ceramics.
Right.
Let's just move down the side a bit. Here we go. Let's get to the rear. Have you got a wider track here on the back as well?
Not the body, but the wheel dimension itself, it's wider. Okay. So again, 3 centimeters on the rear compared to the regular Mercedes-Benz car. Okay.
So on the front, you've actually extended the wheel arches, but here at the rear, you've just left them as per the standard C63.
Absolutely.
Why did you do that? Because if you look at something like an M3 or an RS4, they have that distinct design of like the rear haunches like that. Why didn't you go one step further and actually do what you did at the front at the back? Because I think it might have looked better.
I mean, in the front, we had the opportunity because we needed to lengthen the car in the front, and therefore we needed to create new front fenders and a new engine hood. So there was absolutely the opportunity. In the back, we didn't need to touch it as much as in the front, and therefore we said, okay, let's have only the new AMG specific rear axle, and then with this axle we were able to then also have the wider wheel dimension.
Okay, I just got to back you up here. You made it longer in the front. Why is it longer?
In the past, you know, we had the V8, now we have the 4-cylinder, but still we need lots of place in order to have the entire cooling system, as we seen before, in order to have the cooling system in the front, because we need this cooling system to cool down the engine and again also the battery concept.
Okay, so the wheelbase is the same, but the front is slightly longer.
The wheelbase is largened by, or is longer, is 1 centimeter longer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but the front itself, it's like 5 centimeters longer.
And on the old C63, was it also longer than the standard C-Class?
Yes, it was the same because we needed the room for the V8, and now we need it for the entire package, the 4-cylinder and the cooling systems again.
So it's just like the V8 then? I didn't actually know that. I never knew that, to tell you the truth. Let's move around to the back. As you do in Mercedes-AMG now, when you have the E-Performance models, you have black writing surrounded in red.
Right. Yep. This is to emphasize that this car is a hybrid. We have a P3 hybrid concept, and all of the P3 hybrid concept will get this reddish background. One
thing I'm looking for, because on the GT63, there's that horrible charging port on the back, which just looks a bit...
Right.
Where's the charging port?
Oh, it's all the way here.
Ah, it's like on the
other side.
Like on the hybrid C-Class, isn't it? Oh, that's much better. I much prefer that. What's going on here? So this looks quite serious. We've got some diffuser action going on. We've got deeper bumpers. What else?
So of course we have an AMG specific rear apron here, and especially for the C63 SE, we have an AMG specific diffuser. And again, we have some nice carbon fiber trim elements here, which are available as optional. And of course, we also have the night package. Therefore, the exhaust pipes are colored in black and not in high gloss chrome.
Okay, so you've got quad pipes here, but you just wait here, mate, because I need to go do something. Okay, I'll be back. Just wait there. Just wait. Because this is what I have to do, right? It's just absolutely ridiculous, but it's part of my job. There we go. This should do the trick. There we go. What I need to show you, you see, I've got to illustrate this to you, I'm afraid, Anna.
Real exhaust pipes.
Yeah. It's sort of real, right? So what you got here, Anna, let me just explain it to you. So yeah, I like the design of this, but they are surrounds, and we have two there. But if I look in there, I have just one. There's one.
Yes, absolutely. But in the back of the car, what we also have is a flap in the car, in the exhaust pipe. We have
one.
Two. Yeah, but two. It comes out with two, and then we spread it down to two again.
One.
Yeah.
Oh. It's the same with the V8 though, isn't it? To be honest.
But I mean, it's the same with the V8. Yeah.
It is, before people start complaining. So this spoiler here, this looks quite pronounced.
We also have the aerodynamic package as part of this car. Again, also available as optional equipment. The regular comes in exterior color, and this here is in carbon fiber.
Imagine it in chrome.
Oh.
I know somebody who might wrap that in chrome. I wonder who that could be. Anyway, I'd quite like that. But so this is extended, so it's part of the aero package. So you normally have a spoiler on the boot lip, but it's slightly smaller, yeah?
Right.
Okay. I've got to say, I like the smoked effect of the badging. That's not standard, is it? Is that the night package?
What do you guess?
Yeah, I've got to pay for that, haven't I?
Yeah. So it's also available as optional. Again, we want to offer our customers a wide spread of individualization because we know that this is very important for our customers. Not everybody likes the black tailpipes. Not everybody likes the black
so you can mix and match and...
Right.
Okay. Now, I've got to say, right, I do like the look of this car a lot. And normally I'd go for the saloon. Let's go check that wagon out, because this, in this colour, is just awesome. I mean, look at it. Which one would you have, actually? You're going to take one away today on it. You know, you're going to drive it back home. Which one are you going for?
Since I'm a father of a 3-year-old boy, I definitely go for this one, but it looks much better. So, as you said, the color painting here, we call it Magno paint. I really prefer this one, combined with the red brake calipers and with the red lights in the back of the car.
So this one's on the steel brakes then?
Right, this is the standard.
I like the colour of the calipers on that car. They suit that. And if you have carbon ceramics, then you have the gold calipers, yeah? Right. Can you have the carbon ceramic calipers painted red if you want to?
Not yet. We're working on that. Again, individualization, important for us, but for now we only have it in this goldish color.
And this car shows you what the standard door mirror caps are like and the standard extended side skirts.
Not quite yet, because it's equipped with a night package again.
I'm so confused, Anna. Okay, so let's get this straight. If it's standard, what does it look like?
Exterior color.
Oh, it's just the same, so it'd be this colour?
Right.
Do you know what? I'd have it this colour than that colour.
Why?
Because I think it just looked better, because this is such a cool colour. I'd rather have that than why would I pay extra to make it look less good? But forget the night package on this colour car.
No, buy the night package because it's very good. I mean, I really like the contrast between the matte and the high gloss finish, so I would prefer this one. But it's up to you, Matt.
Right, let's go check out the very rear of it. Come on, let's go.
One thing I want to mention, here we have the other 20-inch wheel design, which are also aerodynamic optimization.
It's this bit in it, right? I prefer those ones.
Yeah, so we are complete different personalities.
You go for that one, definitely?
Yeah.
Did you spec this car up? Because you're product manager. Were you speccing the cars up?
Maybe this is my choice.
Right, okay, cool. And so here at the back of the estate, we've got a roof spoiler.
And this is a standard one.
Yeah.
We also have an aerodynamic package for the station wagon, but in this case, we have now the
That's the standard one.
Right.
No, you've got the aerodynamic package. Is this aero package?
This is not part of the aero package. This is always standard.
Okay.
With the aero package, it's a little bit wider.
It's a bit wider. Right. Let's move on to the interior. So here on the inside, the general architecture of the dash is the same as a normal C-Class. And obviously you can have leather on the dash with the normal C-Class, you can have different colour trims, but you can't have carbon fibre, can you, in the normal C-Class?
Yes, you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not new then? You can have yellow stitching if you want?
No, not on the regular C-Class.
Okay.
This is then for the C63 SE.
Okay, the infotainment screen looks the same, the actual digital driver's display is the same. However, there are some obvious differences. The first one is the steering wheel. Obviously we've got an AMG steering wheel. It's got Alcantara-ish stuff there. It's not actually Alcantara, is it? What do you call it?
No, now we call it a microcut.
Microcut, okay, so you don't have to pay the Alcantara people any money. That's right. And you've got the shift pedals there, which are a nice size. Right. And are they metal?
Yes.
Feels
it's
good.
not plastic. High value appeal when you feel it, when you touch it.
Feels solid and nice.
In the morning it's quite nice because it's cold and you feel it, and that's...
Do you know what? I had an
nice.
M3 and it had carbon fibre pedals, which looked really cool, but the back of them were like rubbery and it just felt like you're touching something cheap, even though they weren't cheap. Okay, then key thing with AMGs, we have the 2 drive select buttons here. So that's your drive select mode where you can go from electric, because it's
fully electric driving,
because it's a plug-in hybrid, comfort, sport, sport plus, race, and we seem to have music playing because I touched the slider control. I hate the slider controls. I always do that. You've got your usual AMG stuff where you can like separate your suspension settings, the noise from your exhaust or your speakers in this case, because you play noises through the speakers and electric sounds as well. Is that correct?
I mean, we have this other system. It's mandatory because it's a plug-in hybrid. You can drive fully electric, so we have this system, and also we are using this system, but not with artificial sound. So we are more or less amplifying the sound from the engine, and then we bring it then into the interior, but also then in the exterior of the car. Okay,
so you've got some speakers on the front and the rear bumpers, which play a noise when you're moving along, and it samples the sound of the engine and it amplifies it. Correct. But if you're in electric only mode, it's not playing the engine sound, is it? It's
no,
like
no.
An electric sound.
Yeah, it's an electric sound.
Now you probably want to know what that sounds like and what the noise this car makes when you're thrashing it sounds like compared to the V8, and what it's like when you're in electric only mode. Well, I'm going to go for a drive in one of these things in a video that's coming out in about a week, and to make sure you don't miss that, please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. That way you'll be alerted when that video goes live. Okay, another thing I've noticed, the display that I'm seeing here, it looks like you've got some custom AMG displays.
Yes. Okay. We have it in the media display, in the instrument cluster, and also in the head-up display.
Okay, so what have we got here? Let's have a little scan through. Is it, how many different views have you got?
You have a G meter, you can display the torque, you can display the power, and you can even have the track pace displayed here in the instrument cluster. Okay,
so normally in a C-Class you get like classic, understated, you get sport, but now super sport
and track pace. Then are AMG specific.
Okay, and you get those in the 43 as well though?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the main infotainment screen here, there's some distinctive menus as well. So if I swipe across, then we've got AMG Performance.
It's more or less telemetrics data, energy flow, and you get the torque and the current power output.
And so basically you've got a drag race setting which will time your launch on it, so you how quick you are from 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, actually, seeing as we're in Germany, 0 to 200 kilometers an hour and over the standing quarter mile. And you've got track race, which times you around various tracks.
Yeah. And if these information then are also displayed then in the head-up display, so you don't have to look on the media display. It is in the windshield,
massive,
and then you can see
massive heads-up display there with a nice big rev counter. And one thing else I've noticed is this, an AMG button there.
That's also AMG specific, so Mercedes-Benz doesn't have it. For the 43 and for the 63 you have it, and then you jump directly into the menu of the car where you can basically change the characteristics of the car.
Okay.
But you can also do it on the steering wheel without getting the hand from the steering wheel. You can change the setup, and that's just great.
Another thing I tend to like about your cars are your AMG seats. Do you get these on the C43?
Yes.
And can you get upgraded seats like carbon fibre or anything like that?
No. We don't have the trim elements in the seat, but we have it, of course, then in different upholsteries. So we also have it in a nice red and in a titanium grey, we consider it.
So no carbon fibre seats like you can get, say, in an M3?
No.
I think you missed a trick there, guys.
But
that's a missed opportunity for some extra cash.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what the future will bring. But for now, this is the new generation of we call it the AMG Performance seat, and it's actually a little bit lighter than the previous version of it. Shall
we go and check out the engine bay?
Yes.
Here we are, the controversial part of the car. It is the engine bay, and underneath here is, as signified by this, a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine and not a 4-litre twin-turbo V8.
How f***ing dare you?
So in the A45S, it produces like 421 PS horsepower, that's what I call it. And in this, you've tuned it up a bit. How much does the engine alone put out?
So we have 350 kilowatt.
What's that in old money? Like 476 or something horsepower?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like this, yeah.
Okay, so you've got that coming from the petrol engine, and that's made to a 9-speed multi-clutch.
Correct.
So it's not the dual clutch of the A45, it's a multi-clutch like you have in the current C63 AMG, is that correct?
Yeah, also in the 43.
And in the 43. Okay, so you've got that working away there, but at the back of the car, on the rear axle, there's an electric motor which puts out like 204 horsepower.
Yeah, 150 kilowatt.
And there's a battery that sits on top of that. And the battery, what's the capacity of that?
It's 6.1 kilowatt hours.
Okay, so it's quite a small battery pack, but hasn't it been developed with like your friends in the Formula One team? So it's got some special attributes. What are they?
Yeah, but absolutely. But Lewis Hamilton is not driving with his Formula One car 50 miles fully electric. So this car is not meant to drive fully electric. It can. So the entire system is developed to provide lots of power in a very short period, and also to recuperate lots of power in a short period.
Okay, so you can drive at 13 kilometres if you want to, so you can run it in EV mode. So if you just nip into the shops and you don't want to heat cycle your engine, you know, because you love your car, you want it to last as long as possible, you can just run in electric power alone, and it'll do like over 70 miles an hour, won't it, in electric power for a very short distance. But you can do it. But it's not designed for that really, it's to add power rather than to just be efficient or eco-friendly, yeah?
It's a performance hybrid and not a long-range hybrid.
But you can charge it, can't you? But it's just at a normal 3-pin socket.
You can charge it. We have a 3.6 kilowatt charger, but basically...
It's quite low, isn't it?
Yeah, but the battery is also quite small. The entire setup of the car recharges or recuperates the battery that you simply don't need to plug it in.
Okay.
And it's more a kind of a preconditioning or a comfort feature for preconditioning in the morning.
Okay, so you're not really going to do that at all. Right, anyhow, when you combine the motor to the petrol engine, total output, it's like 680 horsepower.
Absolutely.
And the previous generation car, was it 510 horsepower?
510
So you've gone up 150 horsepower.
Absolutely.
That's like never been done before, right? When you go from model to model, normally it's like increments of maximum like 50 horsepower.
Right.
That's what BMW did. I think they went up 50 horsepower or something, and you've just basically just gone, haven't you? It's nuts.
Not to mention the torque. So with the predecessor, we had 700 newton meters of torque.
Which is loads, right? It just like destroyed the competition in terms of torque.
And now we have 1,020 newton meters of torque.
I mean, that is insane, right? But there is a price to be paid though, isn't there? Come on. There's going to be two. One is the cost of the car. It's going to be quite expensive, but you know, from a driver's dynamic point of view, weight. All that extra stuff adds weight. This car, come on, how much does it weigh?
It weighs a little bit more than 2,100 kilograms.
That's a lot of weight. Basically, this car is about 340 kilograms heavier than the C43, which has the same engine and has the same gearbox, doesn't it?
Yes.
And has the same body shell. 340 kilos. It's a lot of kilos.
Yeah.
That's what, like 3 fat German passengers.
Right, but we also have much more power in here.
Yeah.
We have the, as you said, 680 horsepower, 500 kilowatt compared to 300 kilowatts, so 200 kilowatt more power.
Give you that, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to put up a slide now which shows the power to weight ratios as well as the weight, the power outputs of this car compared to some of its key competitors and the previous generation C63 as well. So pause the video now and you can actually compare all those stats. Do you know what? Looking at that table, you are right. This has a better power to weight ratio than the previous car and its competitors. But there's another car that I drove, which was an AMG E-Performance. It was the GT. I'll be honest with you, I would have just had the normal V8. I didn't think the addition of the electric power really made it that much better for the cost and the weight. Now, if you want to see my fun depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner up there for the link in the description. However, there's another car of yours, sorry, AMG's not yours, that really worked very well as a hybrid, and that's the AMG one. Blew me away. I'll put a link to that video as well in the description. It's going to be interesting to see what this turns out like. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So once again, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out when I do finally drive and review this car. Okay, is there anything else we need to talk about?
So we have now lots of our customers, they complained in the past that, hey, I have 510 horsepower on the rear axle. Yeah. I can't simply handle it. Now we have a fully variable all-wheel drive system.
So it's the first ever C63 to be all-wheel drive, and that does
fully
help.
Variable, yes. This is a difference compared to the C43.
What's that noise?
Yeah, he's talking to us.
I think that's my time up, isn't it? It's like, got to go home now.
Oh, yeah, we need to go.
But seriously, that does help. Like, the four-wheel drive makes it more drivable every day, but also improves the launch performance as well. So, have you got the 0 to 100 kilometers time for this car?
It's 3.4 seconds.
3.4 seconds.
And hopefully you have it in the table you mentioned before.
Yeah.
What has the
hopefully the editor's done that. Yeah. Hopefully the editor has done that. Yeah. The previous car, I think, was like 4.1.
Yeah,
from
it
memory.
was 4 seconds for the S model. So we have now minus 0.6 seconds.
Some of that's the four-wheel drive system. Some of that is the improved power to weight ratio as well. Okay.
And of course, then the electrical system, which provides you power instantly.
Yeah. Most people complain about this car with the fact that it's a 4-cylinder rather than an 8-cylinder. So you've halved the cylinders, but you've also halved the number of turbochargers as well, which less people will complain about, but you think you're going to have an effect from, right? But you've done something about that, haven't you?
We brought this to the market with a C43 already. We have an electronically exhaust turbocharging system, so which gives you also then immediately power when you really need it. And this technology is basically transferred from our Formula One team into this car, into the C43, into also the SL43.
Oh, okay. And just like with the battery, you've used the Formula One team to give you various information on how to use these systems for high performance, and it's the same with the turbocharger.
And this is also the reason why we are thinking right now is the best timing to make the switch from the V8. We all know at some certain point the party is over, and this is
oh my God, no!
And face the reality. And right now we have the technology. We are very proud of this technology, and that's why we're saying, okay, if not now, when is the best time?
Do you know what? One thing I like about this car, right? I can just imagine everyone at AMG go, listen, guys. Like you say, the party's over, the party's over. What we've got to do is make everyone forget about the fact that we're losing the V8, you know, we're losing the noise and all that kind of thing. And so we're going to have to give them so much tech and so many goodies, and we're going to have to raise the power by so much that everyone just goes, it's all right in the end. That's what's happened with this car. And that's why it's not like, you look at the stats, they're not increments, they're like massive leaps.
Right.
Although including the weight as well. Thank you very much for talking me through this car. It's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to driving it.